this is always where I got to stand still and, like, you know, contain the energy till we're like live. Well, again, Scott, thank you so much for joining me. We're here with another Tuesday lunch where we hang out and discuss everything awesome. I'm Kayleen McCabe, contractor and host, joined this week again, as always, with my friend Scott Sheelar with SEFCA. And Scott, you know, before we get started this week, I have my old tool that I wanted to share. You know, you are always a very fancy dresser, as many of us are in construction. And I have this item. Check out this old school beauty.
Iron. That's an iron, right? Like a clothes iron, right?
Very, very old clothes iron. My great grandparents actually would iron with this. It blows my mind how far we've come. So things that we get to appreciate, modernness. Now it makes for a good doorstop. It's quite solid.
Or a boat anchor.
Strapping.
Go out on your boat or something like that. You could just attach a chain to it and be a perfect boat anchor too. So.
Yeah, man, if you were ironing, you were strong too. That's like a 10-pound weight right there. It's hardy. But I'm so excited again this week to chat with you. This week's going to be fun. But hey, before we get started, what's up with SEFCA? How are things in your world?
Well, we got some big news about a week ago. We received an announcement from the governor's office here in Georgia that they want to give us a grant of over $3 million to expand our Construction Ready program in Georgia. So right now, you may know this, Kayleen, we only offer Construction Ready in Metro Atlanta. Well, this grant from the governor's office, Governor Kemp, is going to allow us to do this program in other cities throughout Georgia. So major cities like Savannah, Columbus, Macon, Albany, Augusta, that sort of thing. So we're excited. We're going to be expanding over the next 2 or 3 years, pushing this exciting program out across the state. So yeah, it's exciting. We're excited. We're ramping up, hiring people to make it happen. So we're in a great place. Things are going really well.
Scott, that's incredible. Massive congratulations. This is something that I wish that all states would have the opportunity, but obviously growing it in Georgia, what a gift to all residents there. And I'm so excited for you. Again, congratulations. Like, that's incredible.
Thank you, Kenny.
It's about time. I mean, you know, I'm spreading the word all over when I go golfing, you know, SEFCA.org. But, well, you know, SEFCA is always kind of leading the front and really thinking about how to reach people and the importance of the whole picture of this. And, you know, this week we're talking about women in construction. And, you know, obviously I'm a woman in construction. I really don't feel like I have to say it when I go to work. Like, I'm here. I'm a contractor. I'm contractor first, you know. But why do you think that it's really important to attract more females into the industry?
Yeah, so you know, SEFCA is all about getting more people into the industry, period, because of the labor shortage and the skills gap. And what we figured out many years ago is that if we're only attracting men, our talent pool is only 50% deep, right? Because our population is 50% male, 50% female, roughly. If we're only targeting men, then we're limiting ourselves in terms of who we're reaching out to. And so that's, I think, just from a numbers standpoint, that's really important. The other funny thing we've learned, Kayleen, through the Construction Ready program is that our retention rate, so, you know, we place our students that go through the program, our retention rate with our female graduates is actually a little bit better than it is with our male graduates. And so, you know, we're not exactly sure why that is, but we are seeing that. So there's a theory that they could be even better candidates potentially for our industry. And so, and unfortunately right now in our industry, only about 6 to 8% of our industry, the skilled trades, are made up of women, right? And so we need to get that number up, obviously, if we're going to address the skilled labor shortage. And that's our focus as an organization. It's why we love working with you. I want to share one quick story before we bring on our guests. You know, we have you every year at our SkillsUSA event here in Georgia, our Career Expo. And I remember the first year you came out, we had a young woman competing in the SkillsUSA competition, and she was getting so frustrated with the project. I think it was, you know, it was a hard project, whatever. It happens all the time, but she was really, really struggling and really frustrated. And you saw that, and you went inside where she was competing in the area, and you sat down on the floor with her, and that just touched me so much. That's sort of my first memory of you working together at our event. I have pictures of that. We put it in our annual report, and it just touched me so much. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, we're going to work with Kayleen a lot because she has a heart for this work, and specifically for young women getting into our industry. And, that's why we work with you. That's the primary reason is, you're a great spokesperson for the trades, but you're particularly good at getting young women. You're a great role model for young women, and you're particularly good at attracting them into our industry. So just so thankful for all that you do for SEFCA and for the industry, and just thankful to be with you again today, and looking forward to our guests, Lisa and Ashton. They're going to be so much fun. Looking forward to hearing the conversation.
Amazing, Scott. That's so kind of you. And thank you so much for that, sharing that story in those words. I do remember that. And, it's important that we encourage everyone to get into this industry. And the last thing that I want to see is someone who's so overwhelmed that they go to a competition and they're out. They never want anything to do with this again. And because that's not the point. Skills USA is such an amazing platform for growth outside of just, maybe the trade. But yeah, that was just a genuine moment. Hey, sometimes it pays off to sit on the floor, right? But no, Scott, this is awesome. And I cannot, again, wait to interview our two ladies today, because I think we get some awesome perspectives. So Scott, thanks again for kicking it off again today. And I guess we'll see you beginning of next week.
Sounds good, Kayleen. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, you too. All right, bye-bye, Scott. And hello, Lisa and Ashton. How is it going today?
Hi, Kayleen. Great. Thank you.
I appreciate you both taking the time to join Scott and I for lunch. We get to sit and chat, and this is an awesome opportunity because Lisa, you are in the industry still, and Ashton, you're a student. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity for our fans to see kind of both someone who's been in the industry and someone who's still learning. So Ashton, I think I'm going to start with Lisa first. So we'll take you back to the waiting room for just a minute. Hey, nice earrings though, by the way. We'll talk about those in a minute. So Lisa, thank you again for joining us. Now, you're the Director of Business Operations, but you're also the President-elect for the Atlanta NAWIC group, which NAWIC is the National Association of Women in Construction, a group that I did not know about. I found them later. I should have known earlier, right? And I fell in love instantly. And why did you get involved? How did you come across them?
Well, I tell you, being a woman in construction, a lot of times I found myself being the only woman in a situation, whether it was a meeting, on the job site, a convention. And I really wanted to connect with other women in the industry. And NAWIC was the answer to that. And tell you, once I found them, I'm like you. Wow, what a great organization. And just the more I got involved doing committees or being on the board, the more I realized I wanted to really take that out to other women and support the mission of the whole organization, which is to support women in construction.
Yes. And I agree with you. I'm the same way. Most of the time in my career path, I've been the only female on the job site. And when I found NAWIC, it was suddenly this moment where I met other women who loved building as much as I did, and I didn't feel so out of place. And I think it's amazing that now you get to come in as President-elect and share this more. Now, share with us, what is your role in the construction industry?
My role right now is Director of Business Operations. So I work with a general contractor, and we specialize in water and wastewater treatment plant construction. So I kind of, in my role, touch all the different aspects right now with human resources and financial accounting, cost management, all of those different roles. The longer I've been in construction, the more I'm involved in those types of roles. But it's a great organization. It's a great environment to be in with construction.
It really is, and I have always found being my experience on job sites and in the industry have been overwhelmingly positive. And so I want to share that more. But the reality is that there aren't a lot of women on the job site. Scott talked about earlier that it's now 5 to 6%, which is great. I remember a few years ago it was 2%. So we're going in the right direction. But why do you think that we're not seeing a lot of women still on the job site?
Well, I think especially when you're talking about women in the trades, there's a negative perception of it, and there's also a lot of stereotyping that goes along. So you may have women being afraid of being harassed on the job site, or that it's too physical and demanding for them to be on the job site. And I think that can be a real hurdle. And I think regardless of whether you're in the trades or if you're in project management or another role in construction, we lack role models. And I think that it's harder for women to associate and see themselves in a role if they don't see other women doing it. So I think it's vital for us now to really highlight and feature women in the industry. And this is a great program that SEFCA is doing right now to do that.
I completely agree. And, your association with NAWIC, how does NAWIC directly support women in the industry?
Oh, we have a number of great programs. One of the key reasons, though, I always go back to in supporting women in the industry is networking and connections. It's so vital. It doesn't matter if you're in construction or what industry you're in, you need to have connections. You need to know people who are involved in your industry, whether it's doing the same thing you are or doing something associated with what you're doing. And so NAWIC, because we're such a large organization, we have chapters across the United States and international affiliates. We have over 5,000 members. And it's really a diverse membership. I mean, we have executive leadership, we have tradespeople, we have people in marketing, administration. So once you're in the organization, you can make all those connections. And if you need something, you can reach out and connect with someone. And then, of course, we have the other side of it, where NAWIC provides educational opportunities. There's an NEF scholarship program. We have a mentoring program. So there's lots of those types of things. There's certifications you can get through the NEF Foundation and opportunities to be involved in leadership or to do community outreach. So there's tons of ways we support women.
It's fantastic. And I have to say, I attend a lot of conferences and trade shows, and the NAWIC conferences are the best. Hands down, I always have the most amount of fun. The virtual dance party a few years ago still blew my mind. So it's just on a side note, it's not all about that, but it is such a great community and really helping with that. And I'm impressed with the scholarship side, because I think that is encouraging and broadening, who can be involved in this. Are there things that your chapter is doing directly to reach out to young females who maybe they don't know, like, yeah, you can do this. I know it sounds tough, but pick my hammer, come play.
We have a couple of areas that are really geared toward supporting people coming into the industry. One of them is our mentoring program, where we are partnering with local colleges and trade schools to bring women who are in construction programs and pair them with a woman mentor. And that helps on both sides because, it's not limited to women being mentored. But the whole thing is because women role models are so vital. And so by bringing those women in when they're entering the construction field and letting them know all about NAWIC and also having a one-on-one connection is just super, super wonderful for those women. And then another one of our favorite programs is a Block Kids program, where we go into the elementary schools once a year. And it said, when I say NEF, that's the NAWIC Education Foundation. But we hold a building competition where kids take interlocking blocks and they may get a piece of string and a paper clip and they build something. And just watching the kids and their imagination is fantastic. So they go from our local competitions up to a regional competition and then a national competition. And our winner from the Atlanta chapter last year, she was so fantastic. She built a bakery, she said, because life is sweet. And just, and just getting in there and, when they're young and saying, hey, this is something you may never even dreamed of. Let's plant a seed. There is this whole world of construction that you can be a part of. And look at all these women who are in this industry, as we're running the competition. So those are two great ways we reach out to young women.
It's fantastic, and really showing people the scope, because I am a tradesperson. I'm on the job site. There are so many different things to do in this industry, hundreds of different career paths. Can you name a few of them?
Well, on the project management side, there's project engineering, project management. Those are two great career fields. I mean, they're highly demanded right now. You also have estimating, which is another field that's in great demand. And then, like I say, on the flip side of that, you have a lot of other roles that if you're in a specialty, it intersects with construction. If you're in accounting, if you're in human resources, if you're in marketing, all of those are really valuable to the construction industry, and you can find a niche there. So you don't have to be on a job site. You don't have to be in the trades to really be involved in construction and be a vital part of it.
Agreed. Oh, completely. And, it's something that, and I'm just going to say real quick, Ashton's going to join us in just another moment, but it's so wonderful to see the scope. And I truly, though, believe that, Ashton is actually attending North Carolina University and is a student in construction management.
Yeah.
But she's going to be incredibly valuable because she's been on the job site. And so, having that experience and seeing how the job site works, being able to then come in with the experience, then run a company and lead and handle all these other aspects that are so important is critical. So, Lisa, thank you very, very much for taking the time. I'm going to have you hang out for a moment while I chat with Ashton and bring you on back. But while she is pulling up her screen, do you have a website that folks could go to if they're interested in joining? Oh, well, I'm going to ask, I'll have Lisa give that information when we come back. And, there you are, Lisa. What's the website?
Yeah, it's NAWICAtlanta.org. And you can get to the national website just with nawick.org.
Yes, excellent. I encourage all of our fans watching to check out the organization, male and female. You might want to, support and see how. And so it's a great group. And again, Lisa, we'll chat with you in a bit. Thank you very much. And Ashton, how is it going? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you. How's it going?
Yay! Oh my gosh. It is wonderful to see you. Now, for our fans, I've actually known Ashton for a number of years, and I met you through SkillsUSA.
Yes.
How long have you been a member of SkillsUSA?
I've been a member since my junior year of high school, so about 4 years now. So, yeah.
That's beyond incredible. And now you're at the North Carolina University, or University of North Carolina. Sorry, I don't know if there's different. I don't want to start any fights or whatever. You're majoring in construction management. And before we go back, we got to rewind because I need you to talk about two things too. You're a mason, honest to goodness, you do brilliant, beautiful brickwork. How did you get interested in masonry?
Yeah, so my sophomore year of high school, I went to the North Carolina State SkillsUSA competition just to watch, and I just fell in love with it. And I just decided the next semester to enroll in the class, and then I just decided I wanted to compete once I got involved in everything. I just fell in love with it. And so then I started competing, and now I am the first female to win 2 consecutive years of nationals, SkillsUSA post-secondary for masonry. So
that is amazing. And I love so much too that you are a passionate mason, but you are also a very talented artist, because these earrings that I'm wearing, you made. Ashton, I love these so much. I love the brick. At the end, I'm going to have you say your website because these are available for purchase along with a bunch of other great ones. But it's interesting because I think being in the industry, you are an artist at some level. Sometimes you're using, brick and mortar, and sometimes you're using delicate materials. But how has your passion for masonry influenced your experience in college?
Yeah, so masonry, I just decided after high school that I still wanted to continue to compete and everything. So I continued competing and everything. So that kind of influenced what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to go into construction because I just love masonry so much. And so why not make that my career? So I just decided that I would go to college for construction management because I want to do more than just lay brick. I want to do a variety of other things and be very, multi-purposeful and everything like that. And I kind of want to go the general contractor route. Maybe, I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of dabbling right now. So
I love it so much because, again, I am starting to see more young females get into the industry. But Ashton, were you ever intimidated to go into masonry? Like, I've seen, we also hung out at the Spec Mix 500, which is this insane competition in Vegas where they do, it's like the fastest trowel on the block. Yes. And then they lay something. Can you name the competitions? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
so
what were the three major ones? Do you remember?
Yeah, so they have the masonry skills competition, which is for apprentices. It's kind of sort of like what I do with the projects, building the projects from the plan and everything like that. And then they have the Spec Mix Bricklayer 500, where you lay as many bricks as you can in an hour. It's got to be clean, and they judge you on how thick your mortar joints are and everything like that. And it's really, really interesting. And if you've never been, I totally 100% recommend going because it's amazing. There's so many things. And then they have the fastest trowel on the block, which is block laying. And those guys are amazing. It's insane. They're crazy. But it is awesome. I love that so much. I've been twice and I love it. So
it is amazing too. And when you say like how many bricks could you put down in an hour, we're talking hundreds. It wasn't last year like 900 or something, like ridiculous.
Yeah,
it is
crazy.
Truly insane. But when I looked around, I don't know if I really saw a lot of young females doing it. Were you ever intimidated then to pick this industry?
I was never really intimidated. I looked at it as whenever I went to that competition my sophomore year, I kind of just said to myself, like, that would be so cool if that was you, because there's hardly any females out there. So I kind of took it as a challenge to, rise up and be one of those ladies in masonry and kind of defy the odds and everything. Like, I took it as a challenge, and I'm kind of like a tomboy a little bit. So I was like very intrigued by it and everything. So
that's awesome to hear, because it really comes down to you're a craft professional, and maybe your hair's longer than others. It's up and safe when we're working, obviously, but so you are a recent graduate, you're now in college. What would you say to the high school student watching this who is like, I don't know what I want to do, I kind of want to do, like, what would you say to that young female?
I would definitely say if you're involved in construction or you're wanting to get involved in construction, then just go for it, because there's so many different things out there that you can do. And just because you're a female in a male dominant industry doesn't mean that you're going to fail or it's not going to work out for you. Like, it might be hard at first, whatever you're doing, but you're going to get through it and you're going to do great. And there's so many women out there that are supporting you, and it's just great. I totally encourage it.
That's so good to hear. You are correct. And especially the industry right now is specifically saying, hey, we want women in the industry. And I mean, I don't know, Ashton, I've seen your work. It's gorgeous. And also the fact that you can compete at nationals. I had a camera crew following me around doing construction, and that was intimidating, but nothing is intimidating as what I've seen at nationals. You are on stage in front of a live audience competing, and you won twice. That is absolutely amazing. The question that one of the audience members has is, do you know what is the percentage of women in the masonry industry?
I'm not sure, but I do have some friends that are in masonry that I've met through my social media accounts that are women in masonry and everything like that. There's even like a Facebook group and everything, and they're rocking it and they're just doing so good. But we're few and far between. I do know that, but I definitely think that we are growing and going towards being more of a focal point, I guess.
I agree. I think it's evening out. You know, we're having so much fun, and you're a positive role model for young ladies, Ashton. I hope that you're taking time to, well, when you can, go back and talk to your alma mater and encourage those young students to be like, look, now this is where I'm at. So, Ashton, for the fans also watching, what is the best website for them to find your amazing jewelry at? Because I follow you on a few different pages, but what is the best one?
Yeah, you can go to That Masonry Girl on Facebook. You can find my little earrings and everything. I've done a giveaway. So just like message me. I can send you like all the things that I've done and everything like that. And they're also on my personal Facebook page on Ashton White. So
that's awesome. I hope folks reach out. Yes, they are not heavy, in case you don't wonder. I have some crazy earrings. So Lisa, this is amazing. It's always nice to, it's really refreshing actually to talk to some females in the industry, because there aren't many of us still. But Lisa, do you know what percentage women are in the industry?
Yeah, when you're talking about women overall in construction, it's about 9.5%. And then when you get down to the trades, I believe it's about 3.5% to 4%. So there's a big difference there, but it is growing, and
but
changes.
Definitely. And I think it's the opportunity for young women to see this. I remember the first time I saw a female contractor on Trading Spaces, and I was like, well, she can do it. I can do it. Why am I not doing this? And so it's wonderful that you are both very strong examples of success in the industry. It is a very, very awesome. And so again, Lisa, would you remind us of the website for NAWIC so folks can reach out to that?
Yeah, you can go to nawicatlanta.org. It's NAWIC.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And for the national side, just nawic.org too. And
yes,
Ashton, all right. Yes. And Ashton, this is a great question. You are new into the industry. Have you had any, what is your luck finding employment?
I've had a lot of luck. I've been connected with a lot of companies through competing. So they've kind of like, helped me try to figure out what I want to do, or just, getting experience and everything. I'm actually connected with a level company, Stabila. So I went out with them to Las Vegas this past year for a demo. And so that like introduced me to a whole different type of something that I haven't done yet and everything. And I got connected with a lot of good people. So I've had a lot of luck and everything. And I feel like I'll have a lot more luck in the coming years after I graduate and everything like that. So
yeah, I completely agree. And Ashton, are you a member of NAWIC yet?
I am not yet, but I am looking into it. I am going to be soon. I know.
That's awesome, because now you know the president-elect of Atlanta and me, and I'm just a big fan and also a member at large. So come on, it's awesome. So ladies, thank you again so much for taking the time to chat. This was absolutely wonderful. And to all of our fans watching, please feel free to reach out with questions to both of them. And also, if you have any more questions, you can always text Career Path to 31996. Now, next week, I'm very excited because we are going to be focusing on counselors and the K-12 system. And really, I'm very excited about this because we're going to talk to two high school counselors and talk about the pathway and getting students into this. So ladies, thank you again for a great lunch. It's been wonderful, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week. Thank you.
Thanks, Kayleen.
Well.
Bye-bye.
Bye.